Good morning, and welcome to Vigilant Broadcasting. The station opportunity presents Underneath the Hat with your host, author Sherri Simmons, as she discusses topics to help us all take care of ourselves underneath the hat.
Good morning, and welcome to Underneath the Hat, an affiliate of Vigilant Broadcasting as a talk radio and TV network LLP. I am Sherri Simmons, your host, and today's topic will be young ladies at all times. So for those that weren't here about 3 weeks ago, I introduced to you all my mentoring program that I started in 2017 called Young Ladies at All Times, where I have been mentoring girls from 6th and 7th grade. I started at Park Manor School in Chicago on the south side, and now we've actually expanded to where we have 2 schools that we're working out of this year. We're working with D.S. Wentworth Elementary School in Inglewood and also Nicholson STEM Academy in Inglewood. Mondays we meet with the 6th and 7th graders, and on Tuesdays we meet at Nicholson with the 4th and 5th graders. So this program came about with us trying to mentor young girls because I realized that a lot of them were going in a direction that was not beneficial to them as girls. And I also realized as an educator in Chicago that a lot of them were being mentored by reality TV from the actions that they did and took in order to solve conflicts and issues. So I decided to start this program as a way to give back and also to help them to make better choices. So I've posted on my Facebook page about any young ladies at all times that you know, girls that are doing great things, that follow our mantra, you are important. Love yourselves first. Always try your best. A smile goes a long way. Touch the lives of someone every day. So if you know of any girls that you want to tell us about, you can call in now at 319-527-2634, or you can go to the Facebook page, Talk Radio TV Network LLP, or you can go to my page, SherriSimmons.com, and be able to click on the link, because we're live now with the radio show. So I have some guests that will be calling in shortly as we give a recap of what we've been doing this past month with Young Ladies at All Times. So every week we have a different topic that we discuss. And since our last conversation, I was actually running out the door to go to our outing. We do an outing once a month with the girls at the end of each month, and the last Saturday in March, we went to our Arena Lanes in the Oak Lawn, and we took the girls bowling. And this was actually their first opportunity to meet each other. And so we had 15 girls come out and bowl. We got a bus courtesy of the principal, Janelle Thompson, at D.S. Wentworth Elementary School. She paid for us to have a bus, and she also purchased T-shirts and drawstring bags for us. And we were able to go to fellowship and bowl, and we had such a great time. The girls got to mingle with each other. I noticed when we picked them up from their respective schools, everybody sat with who they knew. And so I made sure that I created a way for them to get to know each other better by having them to choose their partner from the opposite school. So a 6th and 7th grader was paired up with a 4th and 5th grader, and they competed against one another in bowling. And the team that made the most points got $5, and then we did an individual game for our last game, and the person who had the most points got $5. So they really enjoyed themselves and had a great time. My mother, who's also one of my board of directors for the foundation. She came to help chaperone, and we also had the uncle and grandmother of one of the girls come to check in and see how everything was going. So all in all, we had a great time of getting to know each other. During these last 4 weeks, we've tackled different topics. The first one that we tackled was personal hygiene. I wanted the girls to be able to understand how, as a young lady, there's a certain way that you should carry yourself dealing with your physical appearance. And so I had KB Evans to come in and speak to my 4th and 5th grade girls about personal hygiene, and she'll be joining us later to discuss that. And I also brought in my sister, Twala Shantae, where we were starting out having a conversation with the 6th and 7th grade girls about personal hygiene, but that slowly drifted to talking about sex. And I'm glad that my sister was able to have a conversation with them because she was a teenage mother. And so hearing it from someone firsthand about the impact of having sex too soon and the things that can come, she was real raw and real with them and just told them the truth about that. So she'll be calling in soon as well to share with us what she thought about how the conversation went and what things she learned from having dialogue with the girls. So I can't wait for them to call in so that we can hear more from them. Also, we dealt with etiquette. A lot of the girls had no idea what etiquette was. And so after we explained to them what it was, that I set a table and told them about the place settings. I explained to them how they should pass food around the table. I explained how you should sit at a table, the purpose of a napkin, what symbols the napkin represents. And even my co-lead, Ms. Baker, who will be calling in soon as well, she didn't even know some of the things that we had discussed. And so I informed the girls that the purpose of having proper table etiquette can basically seal a business deal. A lot of times you don't have business deals in the office. You may go out to a business dinner. And just the way you carry yourself at a table can let people know whether or not they want to be in business with you. So I knew it was something that the girls really needed to know. Also, as far as etiquette, we discussed how to enter a room, when to speak, when not to speak. We talked about how to enter and exit a car, especially as a young girl who may have on a dress or a skirt. There's a certain way that you should enter and exit a car. And so I just wanted to make sure that I instilled in them these traits so that they would be able to know how to handle themselves in any given situation. And I kept telling them, because a lot of them were wondering, well, why are we doing this? And I told them the analogy of seeing the forest for the trees. I didn't want them to just focus on what does this have to do with me now, which represents the trees, but I wanted them to be able to see how this could impact them 10, 20 years down the line, which represents the forest. So I wanted them to get the things that they needed now, not really understanding how it fit and where they are in their life now, but to be able to prepare them for where they ultimately wanted to go. And one of the things we did at the very beginning of the program in March is we gave each girl a questionnaire asking them what it was that they wanted to be when they grew up. And interestingly enough, they had some great things that they wanted to do. There were girls who wanted to be scientists. One of them wanted to be a doctor. A few of them wanted to be educators. One wants to be a pastor. We had fashion designers. We had a chef. So one thing that I pride myself on with this foundation is that I chose speakers to come in weekly to have conversations with them that are actually in those fields that they stated they wanted to be in. So thanks to Facebook and my contacts in my phone and Whitney Young High School's page, I was able to find people who were willing to come in and speak to the girls. So because of the fields that they want to go in, I want them to be able to see women who look like them, who come from the same background as them, yet still were able to make it into the area that they wanted to be in. And I basically wanted them to know that it's possible. I heard a quote once, I think it was on Being Mary Jane, where it says, it basically talks about how you don't know what's out there if you're not exposed to it. So I wanted the girls to be exposed to something. We can't get upset with them when they become things that they see in their neighborhood if we never expose them to anything outside their neighborhood. So I wanted to make sure that I did that. And it looks like we have one of our callers on the line. Caller, are you there?
Yes. Hello.
Hello. So tell everyone what's your name.
This is Twyla Shante again.
All right. Now, for those who tuned in last week, you heard Twyla Shante on our Dated in the 21st Century episode. But now she's calling back because, as I mentioned earlier in the show, she came to speak to the girls what started out as personal hygiene, then turned into sex. So, Twyla, I wanted you to call in to explain to the listeners some of the things we talked about, how you felt the conversation went, and some of the things you think the girls were able to take away from the conversation.
Well, okay, we talked about personal hygiene and getting an understanding of what they knew it to be. And then, yes, we end up talking about sex, but I think it kind of goes hand in hand when dealing with kids that age.
Right.
Because they are having sex. So they definitely need to know how to take care of themselves in all ways. And then for me, it was just good listening to them and seeing how they think. Like, if you're not around kids a lot, you don't really understand, and you just it's kind of full. But they kind of gave me a different perspective. They not kids are not slow. You know, one little girl made a comment about, you know, things that they hear, so they kind of, you know, put me on alert because at times as parents or adults, we forget that these kids are paying attention. So I just learned pay more attention to who pays attention to you. Right. Because we are influencers and don't even realize it. And so, yeah, that was kind of what I took away from that. And I hope that they took away whatever questions they had, and I hope they took away that you can talk to somebody. Like, they have people like you where they can come to. You know, not everybody comes to their parents. Not everybody's in that situation where they can feel comfortable with their parents or even want to, and they might not have older siblings or cousins around. So it's just nice to know that there is another door. And I hope they learned that they had at least two people plus whoever else you bring around them, you know, in the program that they can come to. So any questions, any topics they want to discuss, you know, I hope we open the door for them to come to us in the future.
Now, one of the main reasons I wanted you to speak to them is because I knew that this group would want to have a conversation about sex, and I knew that given your experience of being a teenage mom, that they would be able to take it from somebody who had actually gone through it and could talk to them about the consequences of jumping into something that they may not be ready for. So how do you think they walked away from that conversation of hearing some of the pros and cons of jumping into sex and what it could ultimately lead to?
I mean, I hope they took away don't have sex. I mean, that's my motto. Just don't do it. I mean, I don't think and I think I told them that they are ready. I mean, sex is just, it's a physical, but that is a mental thing, I think, especially on a young lady. So I just hope they took away that just be cool, because I was very honest with them about my situation, but I also let them know that my situation is not the ideal situation. I still have my son's father around, but things happen, and you no longer have control over certain things. Like, you literally kind of sort of give up full control. Like, yeah, it's sex, but you put a lot on the line when you do it, and they are not mentally ready for the things that come with that. They are not mentally ready for, like, even the petty heartbreak. Like, this is not the generation. I mean, we wasn't ready, but it was, cute. It was puppy love, and we kind of understood what it was. I think in this generation, everything is so rushed. So I don't even think they have the little steps that we had. So I think it's like, it's worse for them. And then they got all these drugs, and they got all everything else that just enhances so many emotions and stupid things. That this is just something that they just don't even need to try right now. Like, it is still good when you're older.
I think they were shocked when they found out my personal story about sex and how old I was when I lost my virginity. They were like, Miss Simmons, I never would have thought that you would do something like that. But I think me sharing my story, my biggest thing is being transparent. Like you said, we didn't get these type of conversations. We didn't have these programs like young ladies at all times growing up. So the only conversations we got were from our mother being uncomfortable, sharing with us about the birds and the bees. But luckily we had our father who didn't say, he's saying, I don't do no bird and no bee. Like, he gave us the raw truth about sex. And I wanted to be able to have that conversation with them, not so that I can refute anything that their parents may have told them, but to give them another side of it. Because I believe that everybody needs to have options and know what all of the options are so that they can make a clear decision. But if we only give them this cute idea of what it is and not give them the raw truth of what can happen and what else is out there, then we're setting them up for failure. Because we can't get mad at them when they come home with something and then they say, well, I didn't know that. So I have come to the place in my life now where I believe in telling people the truth and being open and honest with people and allowing for them to make their own decisions, because I think we hurt ourselves and each other when we don't divulge the whole truth. And then we can't get mad when someone doesn't make the right decision. You didn't give them all the options.
Yes, I totally agree. I feel like as a parent, my son is 14. I'm very honest with him, been honest with him his whole life. I mean, you was auntie, so you know he was shown how to put a condom on at 6. I gave him condoms at 10. He's 14, and he is not having sex because he knows everything I've shown him, everything I tell him all the time. Even though I tell him this situation is not ideal, so don't think that you're going to find somebody like me who's going to be, you know, as easy as I am. So understand, and even our situation is hard, and he's a child, so he gets told of that. So I think he understands that, and I'm honest. I tell him everything. Anything you want to know, anything you probably don't want to know, anything you probably didn't think you wanted to know. I open the conversation. I don't wait for him to come and ask me. I bring it right to him because, again, I'm trying to open up a door that he feels comfortable when he needs to feel comfortable. So at this point, I make jokes about sex. I do all type of stuff. I make him understand that this is what it happens. But you can kind of choose when it happens and understand that once it happens, these are now the choices. And as a man or a boy, if there's any young fellas out there, you really have no choice. Like, I explain to him all the time, at the age of 14 years old, you have sex, you get someone pregnant, she's 14, 15, guess who has rights to that child at the end of the day? Guess who's taking care of the child? Her parents. So now, as your parent, I have no control because you have given that control away to somebody else. That's too much. That's what I mean, like, it's too much on the child, and they don't understand the full everything about what could happen. Like, you're not in a space to make any decisions. You're not in that situation. So you now have to give total control over to somebody else. And that's how things get messy. That's how things get worse. That's how you have a lot of these young men who don't be involved because it's too many steps, and they are not mentally capable or mature enough to even understand what it is and why and the how and all the other stuff. And then you get grandmas involved, and then you get, and that's where the mess comes around. And that's just how life is right now. That's what's happening. But if you don't allow it to happen, it cannot happen. So I let him know things like that, things that he never would have thought about. I put that in his head, So even though nothing else scares him, he likes to be in control. So that right there was like, oh yeah, you're right. I wouldn't be, and I wouldn't be able to do nothing. And why put that on me? Why make us have to deal with that? Why put me in the situation? You know what I'm saying? Why make his father have to put in the situation? All because of one choice. Anything you do, everybody kind of has the consequences of it.
Yeah, and I was glad that the girls, because we talked about, I was being pressured to do things. I was glad that none of them felt like they could be pressured into doing something they didn't want to do, even though it had occurred in some instances as far as some of the girls. But I believe this group of girls, they're very vocal, and they're strong enough to say what they will and won't do. And so I don't think that there'll be pushovers in certain instances where they'll be able to be led astray into doing something that they don't want to do. So I'm at least glad that they have that trait about them to where you're just not going to come up to them and say anything crazy or pressure them into doing something that they ultimately don't want to do.
Yeah,
did you pick that up from him?
Yeah, I picked that up, but also you also have to remember we are women or young ladies, so and I think you know this too, we are also vulnerable because of that. So even the most, I got this, I'm in my own man, even that person has a weak moment. And that's what a lot of predators or people, prey on. They wait for that moment. You know what I'm saying? So they still have to be guided. And that's the thing, too. Even though you feel like it's a lot of people that feel like, oh, my child not going to do this, my child not going to do that. You still have to put it out there because they're still going to experience that moment. And like you said, if they don't know, then they don't know. And they can be the toughest person. But in that moment, we still have those. So we still have to pay full attention to those too, because they'll be the ones that it happened to and they won't say anything. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't expect it. So we also have to pay attention to how much power or how much strength we think these kids have, because at the end of the day, they still kids. Right. So, I mean, that's just as adults too. I think some people just realize, they think that, they got it, they this, and then they forget that everybody have a moment, so you can't always just assume that and go with that, because them be the ones that's crying the loudest. And I think I kind of saw that too with some of the girls. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, just pay attention. For the parents out there, pay attention to these kids. Like, they be begging for attention, right? And they don't. Not everybody shows it in the same way. I have one child, so it's easy for me to kind of cater to him. But at the same time, I know he is a product of me and his father, so I don't just look for things in him that he possesses. I also have to look into what I was, what his father was, because there might be things that he has that we just don't see because that's not what we expect of him. Right. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And all kids, you can't raise all kids the same if you have more than one, because everybody needs a little something different. One of them might need a little more loving, and that's usually the one that they say, they okay, but that might be the one that needs to be hugged on a little bit more. So pay attention. That's all I can say for these parents. Pay attention to these kids. Like, it's too much going on out here, and they can get one moment could change their whole life. And for because we are black women, and I'm guessing that this is a lot of black audience people listening to this. Y'all know they not fighting fair with us. So and they want our kids. So the people the young ladies we talked to was what, 12 to 14? Like, look on the news, these ones is dying right now.
Yeah.
So they the ones
still
coming up
lost
missing.
and no one can find them. Yep. So, well, I definitely want to thank you for calling in and coming to speak to the girls and being transparent and sharing your story, because definitely more of us need to hear it and be open so that we can learn from one another's mistakes. So, again, thank you so much. I know you got to get ready for work. So I will talk to you soon.
All righty. Thank you all. Thanks to little young ladies all the time. Keep doing what you're doing. School's almost over.
Amen. 35 days. Yep.
Oh, God.
All right. Bye. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have another one of our callers to tune in, Ms. Baker, who's also the co-lead with me at the Nicholson cohort. So we'll take a break, and we'll be right back with her. This is Underneath the Hat.
Welcome back to Underneath the Hat with your host, Author Sherri Simmons.
Hello, and welcome back to Underneath the Hat, an affiliate of VIGILANT Broadcasting and the Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. I'm your host, Sherri Simmons, and if you're on Facebook, you can go to my page, Sherri Simmons. I actually have started a watch party of today's episode. If you want to call in and discuss, we're talking about my program, Young Ladies at All Times. If you have a young lady that you know that's doing great things, call in and tell us about her. You can call in at 319-527-2634. So we've been discussing the program, Young Ladies at All Times, and the things we've been doing this past month. We just spoke to Twala Shante, who came in and spoke to the girls about personal hygiene, and also we got into the conversation of sex with our 6th and 7th grade girls. And so now we have Ms. Baker, who is the co-lead with me at our Nicholson cohort, working with our 4th and 5th grade girls. Ms. Baker, you there?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning, friend. How are you?
I'm good, girl. Sad, but I'm good. How about you?
Same. So, first, thank you for calling in. I know you're very busy.
Girl. Look, today was the coding thing, so I just got back from dropping the girls off from there.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to do this show every fourth Saturday. I do want to recap everything that's been going on with young ladies at all times. So I've explained to them how we have two cohorts now, one at Wentworth with 6th and 7th grade and one at Nicholson with 4th and 5th, and that you helped to co-lead the 4th and 5th grade girls. So overall, how do you think the program is working, and do you see a change in the girls since they've been a part of the program?
So I want to say that I have seen a change, especially in the girls that are consistently coming. It has allowed me an opportunity to kind of get to know them a little bit more personally than I would have just being the school counselor. And so now, since their teachers know that they're in the young ladies at all times, I have heard some comments sometimes, from the teachers saying, you're not being a young lady, and so anytime they see me in the hallway, they straighten up because they want to put on that representation of the things that we've talked about in the sessions that we have, so some of the girls were a little bit rough underneath, and I think that they're starting to see some changes with themselves and making, trying to correct those things that they were doing at first versus not really caring or even knowing different before we started the session. So I see an improvement with those young ladies. Yep.
So what do you think about the topics that we've been doing? Which ones do you think resonated the most with them?
I think the etiquette one, but also the hygiene. The hygiene definitely resonated with them because luckily our nurse followed up maybe the week after that with the hygiene activity with them, and so they just thought they knew it all. And so they was in there talking about stuff that they had learned in the session just so they could say, well, I already know about this, or I know how to, what to do with the sanitary pads and blah, 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 so they definitely was above the game in comparison to their peers when the nurse went in there to talk to them,
And that's good because KB is actually on hold, so when she comes in, I'm going to let her know. Thank you, because the girls already were ready for the next week.
Well, tell her I say thank you as well because I learned some stuff too.
Okay. So with the different topics we've been doing, one of the ones that you helped to spearhead was the one we did on, what was it, the peer pressure? When we played the game?
No, that was it bullying or it was something like bullying. I think it was. Yeah. So and they enjoyed that.
They did. They were asking for a game the following week. I'm like, okay, let's see what we do. I will say the 4th and 5th grade girls are more excited. They always are at that age, though. You can get them really excited and willing to do pretty much anything, whereas the 6th and 7th, they starting to feel themselves and it's like trying to pull teeth.
They're not easily excited.
Right. So when I have a moment where they're telling me stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, so you opening up, so let me be quiet and just listen. And so I've gotten to that point now with them where they feel comfortable telling me things or saying things in front of me that they normally wouldn't. Plus, I believe it's because we set that atmosphere of you can trust us. Anything we say in here won't leave these walls. So the fact that they feel comfortable enough to continue to come back and continue to share more each week lets me know that everyone in the group has bought into our values of what we recite every week to each other.
Exactly. And I think that's definitely important in any group sessions is building that trust so that they will be willing to open up. I was a little nervous the last session that we did when you wanted to talk about peer pressure and just some of the examples. So I'm like, I sometimes I try to censor myself because they are fourth and fifth, but they were saying stuff that I'm like, oh, okay, well, when the girls come out of prostitution and the weed, I was like, oh, what they know about this? But they know way more than I thought they knew.
And I don't know if you could see me battling with the words I was saying about even family can pressure you to do stuff. I'm like, okay, I don't want to go too far. But they need to know that you can be pressured by family too, in case something is happening and you have somebody here you can talk to. So I was trying to play it by ear to see how much they knew and how far I could go.
Well, they took it further than I thought we would have went. Because I was just shocked at some of the examples. I was shocked at the things they're allowed to watch. I have children that are older than them, and Gabby cannot watch any of the things that they were talking about. None of the Lifetime, none of the stuff on HBO, none of the anything with prostitution, drugs. That may be discussions that we have, but I don't think that I'm ready for her to sit and watch that type of stuff. I don't know if she can process that.
And a lot of what they were saying let us know that you probably aren't ready for it either. Given some of the conversations that they were having. But I'm just glad that we are giving them an outlet to be able to share the things. And then I was telling my sister earlier, because she called in, because she spoke to the 6th and 7th graders about sex, and she shared her story of being a teenage mom and how if she could have done things differently, she would have. But all it took was one moment, and then she was 16 with a baby. So she started telling them that it's not worth it. You all have things that you want to do, and you have this opportunity in this program to go further than you would if you were doing it by yourself. So take advantage of what's being offered to you.
So how did they respond to that?
They were actually listening to everything she was saying. They had questions. And they were, because I even told them my story of how I lost my virginity when I was 12. So they were like, Miss Simmons, I would never expect you to do that. I'm like, exactly. But I learned from my lesson. So, right. I'm like, so you can make mistakes. We all going to make mistakes. But the thing is, what do you learn from them? And that's one of the reasons why when we do our peak in our valley, at the beginning, and they do a peak, a valley, I always say, well, what did you learn from it?
And I appreciate that, too, because you know what? Now I also use that same verbiage in, like, some of my counseling sessions. When we have conversations and they tell me something, I say, well, what did you learn from that? Because I always want them to know you didn't lose. You should have learned, and if you learn, that means you won't do it again. So I appreciate that, and I pick that up from you whenever I have a conversation with a child or just anybody, like, what did you learn from that? What would you do different? So, and I think that it makes them actually stop and reflect and say, dang, okay, maybe I could have done something different versus I did it and that's it. Now, you need to learn from that.
Right.
So it don't happen again.
Exactly. Or you don't respond the way that you did. Because it might come up again, but how are you going to move differently than you did before?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
true.
So in the next coming week, we got visitors coming in. I was telling the listeners how we pick people who are in the same field that the girls want to go into so that they can start that networking experience and build a relationship and know that if they can do it, I can too. So we have Latanya McDade coming in a couple of weeks, who's the second in command with CPS. This week, my mother's coming in because one of the kids wants to be a pastor. So she's a minister. So she's coming in to talk to the 4th and 5th graders on Tuesday. And then a scientist is coming in. I
need to make sure that the girl that wants to be a pastor, I know she was sick last Tuesday. So I need to make sure that she show up.
And then Monday, a scientist is coming in because one of our girls wants to be a scientist. So being able to have them see black girls, black women who used to be like them and have made it out and been able to pursue their dreams. I want them to be able to see that because I saw a quote, I think it was on Being Mary Jane, where it said that you can't be something that you don't see.
Yep.
So we can't get mad at the girls. Yep. You can't get mad at the girls for making up the choices that they make if we don't expose them to something other than what they see on TV and outside their windows.
Absolutely. Look, I always tell parents they do more of what they see than what they told. So just because you tell them don't do it, if they see it's happening, most likely they going to do it. You know, that's a frame of reference. It is what it is. It's the truth. So exposing them to positive things.
Exactly. Well, I want to thank you. And before you go, I know you saw my text, but you didn't respond. So in June, we're going to have our Young Ladies at All Times luncheon, where we're going to honor the girls. And also it's my birthday celebration, too. We're going to tie it all in. But I am going to honor 3 special women who have helped to make Young Ladies at All Times wherever it is. And one of them is going to be Miss Baker.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So I'm also going to honor Miss Thompson, my principal, for stepping out and helping to push us forward as far as finances for the girls. And then Principal Jenkins at Park Manor, because she started the whole thing by allowing us to come in 2017 as a pilot program. So those will be the 3 people that we honor. So make sure you're available because I know you're busy.
But I just put it in my calendar because I just saw it in my text messages before I was calling you. So I just put it in my calendar. There's nothing else there, so I'll make sure that it is a go.
All righty. Well, I'm gonna let you go.
And I want to say thank you too for just allowing me to be a part of this process. It has been truly enjoyable. I'm looking forward to, following through with this and making it bigger.
Thank you so much, friend.
No problem. Enjoy the rest of your day, hon.
All right, you too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. So that was Ms. Baker, our co-lead with Young Ladies at All Times. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have KB Evans to help us close it out as we discuss her thoughts on her time with the girls around the area of personal hygiene. This is Underneath the Hat, and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Underneath the Hat with your host, author Sherri Simmons. Hello, and welcome back to Underneath the Hat, an affiliate of Vigilant Broadcasting and the Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. I am your host, Sherri Simmons, and our topic for today has been Young Ladies at All Times, which is a mentoring program for girls ages 10 through 14 that I started in 2017. So I've been having people call in who have been helping and talking to the girls this past month. And on the line now, we have KB Evans. KB, are you there?
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful.
Good. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem at all.
So I wanted KB to call in because she actually came and spoke to our 4th and 5th grade girls about personal hygiene. And I don't know if you heard Ms. Baker, but she wanted to thank you because the following week they had a nurse come in talking about the same thing, and all of the girls that you spoke to were spitting out all the answers because of the information you had given them the week before. So they were the MVPs in their class. Exactly, right. They knew all the answers. So thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you all. Thank you. Miss Baker, I said thank you as well.
No problem. So how do you think that it went with the girls and the conversation around personal hygiene?
Well, this is not my first year with you, and I want to first of all thank you for allowing me to go through this process with you and be a entity of your vision that God has given you, because I put God in everything. Yes. And so I thank God for allowing me and allowing you to allow me to be in this process. But because this is not my first time around with you, with the girls, it is a new group, and I think they're a little younger. But I found it to be very interesting about not shocking, but interesting that a lot of the girls still don't know about the different and various ways to take care of their personal hygiene. And so I did find it to be very, very good, and it turned out a wonderful afternoon because I didn't have to, I had to work. I literally had somebody to talk to, someone to teach, someone to school about what was really going on and what they need to do because they don't know. So I had a great time that evening. And then the fact that they were active, they were, they asked a lot of questions and they were interested. That's the word I'm looking for. They were interested in what I was saying, and they wanted to know more. And it's great for me when children, especially at that age, thirst for knowledge about things that they're not learning anymore that we should learn in our homes, but we don't.
Yeah.
So I mean, it went well for me. I enjoyed the young ladies. I enjoyed their questions. I even enjoyed some of their expressions when I talked about certain topics.
Yes. Yes. And I'm so glad that you have come with me on this journey, because the reason I asked you to come back is I believe, and I was telling my sister earlier in the show, that we're at a point now where God is revealing so much about things that are going on, and he needs people on the battlefield who are going to be transparent and just tell the truth. And now that I have finally gotten to that point in my life where I'm ready to share my story and be open and transparent, he's allowed me to surround myself with people who are already there so that I can learn from them. And so I knew I had to bring you back, because you say things and make it funny and humorous, yet it's the truth, to where they want to pay attention and hear what you have to say. You don't pull any punches. It is what it is. This is how it is. And so I know that the girls need that nowadays, especially growing up the way that they do in the neighborhoods that they do, where they don't pull punches with them. So I needed somebody who was going to actually tell them the truth in that same way. So I want to thank you for being open to come back and be a part of it as well.
Well, I thank you because, one of the things that I try to explain, unfortunately, we are in a field, a career field that has policies. And the policies are so strict on what we can and cannot do and cannot say. But the bottom line is we have to meet each group, each culture where they're at, And they, the policy writers don't really or don't care to understand that. Let me say that they don't understand it. They don't care to understand it. But the bottom line is, even in my field of music, if you don't mind me saying, because I don't want to overtalk, but even in my field of music, you have to meet your audience. As an entertainer that I am, I still have to meet my audience where they're at. Every audience, I can't do the same music. I can't say the same things, and everybody is not receptive to everything that happens. So you have to know your audience. And I feel the same way when I put on my clothes and I go to work every day. I have to know that audience, the young people. And now I know that I can't, because when I start lying to them and when we have to sugarcoat stuff with them and we can't really tell them the truth, guess what? They back up from us because they don't trust us, because these are children, and the Bible talks about the children, and children are innocent, and so they're going to really tell you what they feel. They're going to tell you, but if they don't trust you, they're going to back away from you. And so I need to make sure that they know that this blonde hair is not blonde all the time, that this makeup and these eyelashes aren't pretty and bold all the time, that I got to take this stuff off. And so if I can take it off when I get home, because I got to be me, I'm going to be me with you, so you can be a better you.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm still good without this makeup on. It doesn't make me, it doesn't validate me. And so the personal hygiene part, I wasn't able to really get in depth to what I really wanted. But I also wanted to tell them sometimes jobs even discriminate against hygiene. And I'm going to tell you, I hate to say it, but I would too, because I don't want to smell you in the office.
Right.
So clean it, wash it, deodorize it, powder it up. But don't put perfume on it.
Right.
So, I mean, the truth is the truth. I don't want to smell your funky perfume. But, I mean, but I did. I really, really enjoy talking to young people. I really enjoy being a part of their lives in any way possible, be it personal hygiene or bullying, because those are some of the strong areas in my life that I like talking about. I love what you're doing, and I want you just to keep on keeping on and let God lead you as far as as your imagination can take you, because I know that this is nothing but God, because I know some of your story. So I can't say too much without saying it. Just continue to let God guide you.
And I want to say this. My big girls told me, look, we looked up KB Evans on Facebook, and we want her to come talk to us too. So whenever I said I will let her know, trust me. So whenever you are free on a Monday, let me know so I can put you in, because they keep asking me, is she coming? Is she coming? So I told them I would talk to you.
I'll definitely look at the calendar. I'll look at the calendar, and I'll make it my business to, find time for them, because especially if they're 7th and 8th graders, they need the most attention and conversation, because they're going into another level of their life, another step, in their life, and they really, really need to know that stuff that they was dealing with in 7th and 8th grade in grammar school, it's a whole new world in high school as it is in college, and then the real world. So, there are steps in our lives, and I would love to come and have a conversation. So I definitely will look at my calendar today for you, and I'll check, because I'll be out of school. I'll be done with this semester after Wednesday. So after Wednesday, my mind will be free. I'll have that burden lift off my shoulders, because Lord, college. So so definitely, but I would love to, and both of the schools. I don't think I've been to the other school, right?
But you haven't been to Wentworth yet. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But before you go, you mentioned that you're in the field of music. So if you could just give a plug of your next event, so people can check on you as far as your social media.
Okay. Well, I am KB Evans. I am your entertainment source for soul music. They call me the first lady of music, and I am currently doing a monthly after-work series in Richton Park, 5111 Salt Trail, on Fridays every month, and we just finished yesterday our second month, but we will be back in May 17th, in Richton Park at the Majestic Office Center and Jazz Cafe from 6 to 11, and live music starts with me at 8 o'clock. And then you can just follow me on social media, YouTube. YouTube is KB Evans Chicago. You can also go to Facebook, which is KB Evans, and I always list all of my public events that you are open to. And also Instagram is k.b.evans. And then you can go to my website where I have both of my singles, Change, and the latest one that just dropped, Happily Ever After, the stories untold, the love stories untold, Happily Ever After. And you should listen to that because you have a happily ever after.
Absolutely.
And yes. And so you can go to my website at kbevanscorporation.B as in boy, I, Z as in zebra. And that will take you to all the YouTube, all the links to my web store where you can purchase any of KB Evans T-shirts, pins, hats, or anything. And if you just want booking information, I do funerals, weddings, any type of party you want, church. I kick the kids out the house party. I do the Hallelujah divorce parties. So, I mean, real talk, you can book me for any occasion, any occasion. And so that's pretty much who I am and what I am. So if you want someone for your next event, think about KB Evans.
And let me tell you, she is amazing. When my mother, who goes to sleep at 8 o'clock, can stay up till 11 and be jamming in the chair, then it's definitely good. So, again, I want to thank you so much for being on this journey with me, and I will definitely be in touch.
Well, I love you, and God bless you, God
too.
speed, and God keep you. And I will talk to you real soon.
All right.
Be blessed.
Bye. So I want to thank my guest today for calling in, Twala Shantae, Glenda Baker, KB Evans. Don't forget to check out her information. Helping me on this journey with young ladies at all times. I could not do it without these strong women, and I'm so thankful to God that he has blessed these women and put them in my life. And I know it's not for a season. I know it's definitely for a lifetime. So with that being said, my upcoming events, I have a filming, actually 3 filmings tomorrow for my YouTube channel, Underneath the Hat. Go and check that out. Subscribe. Now you have the episode Love and Marriage with myself and the Taylors talking about being in love and married. And I have filming coming up tomorrow, Living My Best Life, Religion versus Relationship, and Finances. So I will keep you updated on when those will be posted to the YouTube channel. But go to YouTube and check out Underneath the Hat. Also, you can find my book, Underneath the Hat, at Amazon.com. If you go to my website, SherriSimmons.com, you have all the links to Amazon, to my YouTube page, to all the different things that I've done. You can find me on Facebook at Young Ladies at All Times, at Underneath the Hat, and at Sherri Simmons. My show next week will be Love and Marriage. And I also want to say a special happy birthday to my husband, Vince. Today is his 42nd birthday. I cannot do this without him. He is my support system and my source, and I thank God for him every day. So, again, I will see you next Saturday, same time. My name is Sherri Simmons, And remember to take care of yourself underneath the hat.
Thank you for tuning in to Underneath the Hats radio show. We will see you here again next Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time. Follow Sherri on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Underneath the Hat, and visit her website, sherrisimmons.com. Always remember to take care of yourself underneath the hat. See you next week.